What is going on, everyone? My name is LittleMarMan. Welcome back. Thank you for tuning in to yet another one of my videos. Of course, this is another informative episode of my Everything You Need to Know About Zombies series, the one series on YouTube where we go totally in depth on each and every aspect of the Call of Duty Zombies storyline. Now, if that does sound like something you would enjoy leading up to Black Ops 3 and of course throughout its season, all Black Ops 3 information sort of broken down first and sort of the most it can be, I highly recommend hitting that subscribe button. And of course, if you learned something from this video, leave a like. And of course, as always guys, if you have any questions regarding this topic or any other one, leave it in the comment section below, and if I do not reply to it, chances are a video is on the way regarding your question. So without further ado, today's topic is of course sort of the Black Ops 2 ending, the buried ending, sort of the end of our transit crew. And of course, if you didn't know there was actually an ending to this sort of journey with our transit crew, then get out from under that rock, Patrick, because you are missing a hell of a lot. Basically, you complete numerous Easter eggs, one on transit, one on polarize, and of course one on buried, and you can either do it in Maxis' favor or Richtofen. So there's two sides to this Easter egg, two ways to do it, and of course you get two outcomes, and I'm going to explain sort of how one would go about doing that. Not exactly sort of a guide on how to do the Easter egg, but sort of what happens throughout its journey, like sort of the significance it has to, of course, the zombie storyline. So let's get into it. Now, of course, at the time of transit, obviously our first part, or our first sort of section in our sort of Black Ops 2 journey, Richtofen is in control of the zombies. He's up in the MPD. Remember, he did swap souls with Samantha. And of course, Maxis is an AI rendered being. What that means basically is he can live through sort of computer signals and computer sort of messages, and sort of lives in computers, you could say. He can take over anything that is operated in any way by a processor or anything like that. So that's why a lot of people were saying sort of he is the transit bus driver, and that's sort of like Illuminati confirmed, blah 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 blah. Yes, you could say he is the bus driver and stuff like that. And of course, when we're doing our Easter eggs, the step on Richtofen's side is sort of obey the voices, because Richtofen, of course, being in control of the zombies, and since our character Samuel Stuhlinger, sort of our main character, the guy with the glasses, since he had previously eaten zombie flesh, he's the only one that can hear Richtofen, and he sort of leads our group to actually sort of do all this stuff. But anyway, when it comes down to it, you either complete sort of the transit Easter egg with obviously the tower in the favor of either Maxis or Richtofen, and sort of you hear them say stuff, blah 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 blah, and then you move on to polarize and do the same thing. Now, if you have already done sort of the first part, just saying Richtofen's favor, the second part you need to do it in Richtofen's favor as well, because if you try to do it in Max's favor, it will not work. Sort of it's locked to actually sort of Richtofen's side. So that way, if you wanted to change over, you'd have to go back to transit and sort of do Maxis's one, and then the second one do Max's one, because in the second one, then if you did Max's one and the first one, you could not do Richtofen's one. Now that sounds like a big jumble mess, but hopefully you understand what I'm saying. Any questions, comment section below. But anyway, then we move up to buried, and once again you do the final step, and then you get an ending. Now, when we get our ending from Richtofen, the rift is mended. Now, of course, the rift is mended has many meanings in the zombie storyline, and it's totally a topic for another video. Just Google it or something on Call of Duty Wiki, and if you still have questions regarding it. But a video will be coming very very soon on that. But you can pinpoint it to the rift above our buried crew, like in buried, sort of the rift above, like the break in the rocks. You can say that's the rift, blah 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 blah. But anyway, the rift is mended, and Richtofen is able to gain sort of full manipulation of the Aether's energy. Now, of course, when Samantha was in control of the zombies and she had sort of the Aether's energy, she did have full manipulation. She had like the ultimate power. But then obviously that's what Richtofen wanted. He's sort of evil. He wants the power for sort of for his reasons, not sort of the reasons of good people. So when Richtofen does this, he gains full manipulation of the Aether's energy. He internally damns Samantha to Agartha, and of course is allowed to put his foot back on Earth. He is allowed to then walk around the Earth, but not in his own body. He uses the body of course, Samuel Stuhlinger, obviously the guy with the glasses we talked about earlier. He uses his body as his physical host, and of course Stuhlinger is still in there, so they're sort of fighting for bodily functions, fighting for bodily controls. Obviously that is where sort of it's left, that is where sort of the Easter egg ends. That's when we are all given full perks, blah blah blah, and then that is the end of the Easter egg on Richtofen's side in the map Buried. Now Maxis' side is a bit of a different story. Maxis' plans isn't really to sort of gain ultimate power for himself. At this point, he just wants to be reunited with his daughter Samantha. The last time Samantha was sort of seen from us and by us was up on Moon when Richtofen swapped bodies with her, and of course Richtofen was then in control of the zombies, and nothing was mentioned of Samantha after that. So we thought that's all Maxis wanted, but it turns out when we do complete his side of the Easter egg, a portal to the Aether opens, and sort of he takes control of the zombies. He gets power and sort of spawns Richtofen back down on Earth, and he has to walk forever as a blue-eyed zombie. So it's sort of on spite. Richtofen is now the thing that he was using as a slave. Richtofen is now the slave. And of course, in the process of Maxis actually gaining this power, he sort of finishes off the Earth and sort of destroys the Earth, really, like sort of revealing himself to be just as evil as Dr. Edward Richtofen. Now, this is where it ended. This is where the Black Ops 2 ended. You could either go Richtofen's side or Maxis' side. Richtofen's side leaves him in control of the zombies, but in Stuhlinger's body. And of course, Maxis is Maxis in power, and sort of Richtofen walking around as a zombie, and our buried characters being used and sort of either stuck down here or completely dead. So, what happens after that? Well, turns out none of it actually does matter. The point of you watching this video is there was pretty much no point. Just to know sort of what timeline actually went the way it went. Of course, because of our map Origins, Samantha traveling back in time and creating an alternate universe, this never happened. Buried never happened. Our transit crew never happened, because when Maxis went to reunite himself, obviously she wasn't there. She was obviously traveled back in time, and the timeline stops there. It ends. It does not continue. So Samantha is back in 1918 in northern France in the map Origins. So this doesn't really matter. Anything that sort of happened here doesn't really affect Black Ops 3, and probably will not affect anything after that. But of course, our game developers, Treyarch, always have a surprise and something hidden up their sleeve. So we don't know really what to expect, but from sort of, I'd say there's a 95% chance that this is where our buried crew ends, and this actually never really happened the way Origins went, and the way sort of Shadows of Evil and of course the Giant are going. So this basically has no other sort of significance to the zombie storyline other than a timeline that never happened. So guys, that's pretty much it for me. If you have any questions regarding this topic or any other one, leave them in the comment section below. Don't forget to like the video, and of course subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. I will talk to you all later. Hope you all have an amazing day. I think I'm gonna go shopping, and yeah, so I'll talk to you all later. Hope you all have an amazing day. Once again, peace out. Thanks for watching.